All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Casey Callum with Express Information Systems, and I'm joined by Raina Camargo and Stacy Campbell, also with Express. And today we are joined by Miguel Lozano, who is presenting TitaniumGP. TitaniumGP is a product that, or it's a company that has multiple products for Dynamics GP, products that are integrated into Dynamics GP that do various things, but essentially they all make Dynamics GP a lot easier to use, and they build up that functionality to where you can do more with GP than you can do without it. So Miguel is going to give us kind of a showcase of everything that TitaniumGP does and all of their products today. So we are recording this demo, and if anybody has any questions, please just type your questions in the chat box, and then we will read those questions off, and Miguel will answer them. We do have a small group today, so please let us know if you do have any questions. TitaniumGP is it's a pretty wide-ranging product. It does a lot, and definitely a lot to discuss. So as you're watching the demo, there's a plus and a minus button on the right side of your screen, so you can zoom in and out to make the screen bigger or smaller as you like. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Miguel to show us TitaniumGP.
Hi, Casey. Thank you very much. And thank you, everyone, for making the time to talk and to see this demo of the product. I think I agree with Casey. It provides a lot of functionality to make your life easier and operate the system faster and create some interesting functionality that GP just doesn't have it by default. So let me start with the copy paste. I'm going to explain the every window. So if you're not seeing the window, please let me know so I can wait until it refreshes. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open the sales transaction enter window. It's my regular. I have several Excel files. You know how we really use Excel in all departments to gather data and then eventually try to put it in Excel. So I have several Excel files. I'm opening one that is called Titanium Multiple Docs. And in front of me, I have two sales transactions, two orders. Let me make it a little bigger. Two orders. I have the customer number, and I have all the information that will go into the header, including the item numbers and the prices that I would like to include. So let me show you what happens when I grab all this range. Just press the select the range that I would like, including the header. I'll show you in a minute how to create this, how to grab that template. So the header will instruct Titanium. This is the customer PO that you're trying to paste, and it will tell you exactly the fields. So I'm going to go into the sales transaction enter window, and I'm just going to go into the additional menu and click TGP paste. So it processes the transactions, and it will tell me the number of the documents that it created. In this case, order ST2266 and 67. So if I go into order and open it 6666, I have the order that I just created, and I have all the items that I included in the range, including I overrided the price, and I also have something here called priority, confirmation, and order, which if you notice, those are my user-defined fields, and I was able to also enter them right here. If it is information further that is not in front of the on the GP window, I can click the expand on the detail, And you will be able to see even the requested ship date that it was included in my range, and I was able to paste it directly into GP. You can also, this is for the sales orders, but Titanium gives you the opportunity to paste to several windows, over 70 different windows. For example, if you would like to copy, I'm trying to go, this little window is not letting me move. Okay. So here I have, for example, items. If I wanted to add master data, I can also grab that information, and I will go directly into GP, into the window that I would like to paste. Go right there. I'm in the item maintenance window. I'm going to click TGP paste. And it will tell me exactly what happened. It inserted 3 new records. So if I go into that item and select that and put it in here, I should be able to get the information that I just pasted. But let's say that we would like to also modify data. So I'm going to copy this little range. I'm going to put it right here. It doesn't look good. Let me put it in here. And I'm also going to say I want to change just the shipping weight. So this will be a base, which will let the rest of the fields alone, and it will just paste what I'm telling it to paste. You notice that I'm pasting empty rows and empty columns. And the thing is that Titanium will grab just the values that you're pasting, remove all the empty columns, the empty rows, and I will get a warning that those items already exist. So it says that it updated it. I'm going to go and grab the first item. And you will see that the rest of the fields stay and only change it exactly what I included. This means that I can update data from items, from vendors, from customers, from GL accounts in order to be able to maintain an integrity into my database of the data that I would like to change. So that's in copy paste, but I also would like to show you one additional paste feature that I think you will find value. I have another Excel file here that is called sample PO. So I have the template in the first tab, and let me show you how do I get this template. So when you're in Excel and you press Control-C, this dotted line moves, and that means that information is in your clipboard. So I'm going to press Escape, so I don't have any dotted line. So I'm going to go into the first order, and you're going to find this very interesting. And I'm going to go and say that I want to paste. And just because I don't have data in my clipboard, Titanium says, if you don't have data, allow me to create a template for you. So you say that I want to update, delete a standard, or click all fields, multi-document. You click OK, then you go into your Excel file, and you just click the icon, not the paste, the icon over here, and then you get the template. The reason you don't paste that one because it doesn't paste with color, so you want to paste with that can be added into for a purchase order. You have seen that when I paste, I do not use all the fields. I only paste the ones that I want. So if I wanted some fields to be removed from my template because they don't make sense to me, I just can simply go ahead and delete them. And Titanium will just grab the fields and they will put them as empty, which is what you will do in a normal operation. You're entering a purchase order, but you don't use those fields. You just press that. Okay, so let me continue with this one. So I'm going to go and select, and I'm going to paste the purchase order. It's exactly the same as we did for the orders. So I just paste it and I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 purchase orders based into my range. The first one is 2096. So if I'm going to open 2096, and I have all my data. Let's say for a moment that now the vendor is calling me and saying, of that purchase order that you have, I want to change the request ship date, or I want to change some of the values, or even inclusive the prices if you wanted to. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to go into now my update, and I'm going to change this one, and I'm going to say that 2096 was my first PO, and I want to change the buyer. Let's go see again. Let's open 2096, and you see that I do not have a buyer. I also I don't have the trade discount and the freight amount. So I'm going to save it. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to include a column called action, which is head. So I press Control C. I go into the additional menu and paste. And with that, I have supposedly updated those POs. Let's go see if it's true. So now I have my buyer, Terry Adams, and I also have my freight and discount. This is header information. If you wanted to change the data, let's go take a look of the lines. Let me just do that very same purchase order. Oops, I paste it there, and I'm gonna paste 97 here. So now the action or the instruction is update line. And with here, I can update the promise date, the required date, and including I can update the cost if that's what the vendor said. So I'm going to change also the FOB, printer board. I'm going to go back here, paste. So Titanium grabs all that information from the Excel file, and it communicates with a product that you might have heard called eConnect. And eConnect is a product that matters that it's maintaining the business rules or the GP rules in order to create transactions, not writing directly into the database. So if you try to create something that the GP wouldn't like a PO with a vendor that doesn't exist or something like that, you will get an error message. And eConnect will also get that error message, and Titanium will show it here in a way that it will not allow you to enter information. So that's the beauty of eConnect. We are maintaining the integrity of the data. So in this case, I have here changed the price, and let me move the window a little bit. And I'm going to go into the first item, and I want to go and see the detail. And I'm in the purchasing item detail enter window, and you will see that I have the current promise date, the required date, ship date, and I also changed the requested by and the FOB. So I'm able to update purchase orders into the system by entering the information that I wanted. And there, increase the revision, etc. Normal operation. So this is in regards to copy paste. You are able to update, enter and update item master data. Master data. Also, you're able to enter journal entries, inventory transactions, sales orders, update sales orders, update purchase orders, and in a very easy and simple way to upload. All right, that's the copy paste functionality. I want to show you another one that I also like a lot. Let's say for a moment you would like more fields into your receiving transaction. If you don't mind, let me just bring MS Teams. I'm going to use it in a minute. So here I have the receiving transaction that has some field. I would like to add some fields. I know that if I have a receiving transaction, I put department in the GL account, then I will be able to select it. But it's not intuitive. So let's say that I want to see the department. Titanium has something called elastic windows that allows you to increase the window, and then you can add the fields that you want here. In this case, I know that you have heard of it. So for example, this instruction is going to the 402 table, which means it's a segment table and for the GL account. So when I execute it, it gives me all the departments. I have added that little SQL to this department. So when I'm about to create a receiving transaction, I'm able to see all the departments, and I'm able to associate or visually able to give the user more information into what is that receipt is going to be entered and what is it going to be done with it. And when you do that, you're able to add characteristics to your item numbers, for example, colors and sizes and additional fields that it will not allow you to easily to add in the very limited extra fields that we have in GP. And some of the fields, like this one, you saw that the department is based on the segment, but it doesn't have to be just this database. Currently, we're working with a customer that they have all their items in their website because they have a web presence and they sell sports equipment. So this extra data from the elastic windows is actually going to the website and bringing it there. So they have all the descriptions. And when customer service is entering an order, they're actually seeing exactly what is happening in the website. So these fields can be definitely entered and added into your elastic windows. I'm going to leave this on the side for a moment. I'm not going to close it. And I'm going to go into the vendor card. And elastic windows, you can make it to open automatically. It's very simple. Let me show you. So when I open the vendor card, it did not open automatically. But if I wanted to open automatically, I just can go and say auto extend. So when I'm going to close it, and I'm going to open it, and the vendor, and then it opens it and gets automatic. Elastic Windows has the ability to add more fields, and it is a dynamic form rendering. So you just tell it what you want, and Titanium grabs and it says, oh, this is a number, or this is a date, or this is text field, and it knows how to program the window. But it also allows you to add attachments to almost any window. So, for example, if I go into this customer, I already have attached a file. How do you attach a file? Well, you just click the plus sign here, define the file that you want, or you can go into your Windows Explorer and just drag the file that you want and put it in there. So yeah, that's simple. How can I use it? W9s for the vendors. We have a customer that is using this extensively, and they add all the purchase orders. In the purchase orders, they add the contract, the quotes, the shipping information, any certificates of requirements like authenticity or documentation that the vendor sends. They are loaded. So eventually, when you are doing an audit, you're able to go and see all the files and documentations that were added to this particular purchase order. How do you see the document? Just click it, and it will open. I think I already have that file open in here, but giving me that error message, but still able to open and add those attachments file. So that's the beauty of Elastic Windows. Almost any field that you would like, very simple to add, and you're able to go and enhance the data that you see in GP by adding information, extra data. So that's into the Elastic Windows. The next tool that I would like to show you, it's something that I'm very excited about it because it has saved so many situations. I just was with a customer, and he had a TGP Remember, and he says, my prices keep changing in this sales order, and I don't know why. And I think GP is the one that is not working. So we went and checked, and we were seeing that there was two reps for the same customer, or they were confusing. One was changing the order of the other one. But how do you identify that? So I have, in the same elastic windows, you have the capability to add the TGP Remember, which is an auditing tool. It will tell you what has happened to that vendor. Let me disconnect it so I can make it a little bigger. I just disconnected the elastic window. And here it's telling me that I added two attachments. But if I go, for example, and I say Miguel, and I save it, save the record, and I'm going to go into the same customer, it will tell me that the address to was updated from empty to Miguel by SA, and it will tell me the timestamp. So I will be able to go and see all the changes that this particular vendor has suffered through time, and I'm able to go in and identify who is the one to change it. If I make it a little bigger, I'm able to go and see a lot more columns, like data type and the actual field that GP uses. Let me put the field name. So this is the actual field in the database, and this is how we're presenting it. So we're kind of translating the field, so you will be able to go and understand the actual meaning of whatever code is here. I'll show that in a little bit, in a few. So TGP Remember, it's a very small auditing tool. And when I mean small, it's extremely powerful, but it's small on foot and data footprint. It's not like the regular auditing tools that your databases of your audit database is actually way bigger than your production data, because TGP Remember only stores the actual change, the field that changed, not the whole record like other ones. So it's a very smart way of auditing your entities, and you can audit any table that you want in the system, both in the company database or in the system database. All right. That's TGP Remember. You have multiple ways of accessing the data. If you're an administrator, you can go and have a query tool that shows you the changes of any entity. And the one that I show you in the elastic window, you have to have permissions to that window to see it. But in this case, if you are the system administrator, you can see all activities. So if I say vendor master, and I select the vendor master, and I say Ace Travel, I think that's the number. So it will tell me exactly the changes that I did, and I'm able to go in and export and do the auditing that I need in order for the record. Very powerful, very helpful tool to maintain the integrity and understand what's happening and who has modified what and when. All right. I'm going to move, and sorry that I'm going really fast, but feel free to send any questions. I know you might have some questions, but trying to grab, explain as much as I can of the product. Now, I think I explained this a while back, but a customer said, if you have access to a window, for example, the receiving transaction entry, and you're able to enter, you have the permissions to use it, you can enter any record. Well, a customer of ours, they have separated QA department and the material management department. So while they can do inventory transfers from, if you have access to the inventory transfer window, you can transfer from any site to any site. But Jonathan, the material management manager, told me, I don't want QA, but only to be able to move from the QA site to production sites. If it is from material management, if it doesn't belong to the QA group, the user class group, I don't want them to be able to grab inventory from QA because that needs to be certified. So I want to separate those activities by depending on who's doing the transaction itself. The interesting thing is that, well, GP will not allow you to do that. So we created a TGP validate, which is a SQL instruction that Express Info can add to your GP without customizing GP by itself. So you don't have to hire a developer and do those customizations, and then when you upgrade GP, those customizations need to be recreated. This is a very simple way of creating those validations. So let me show you how it works. And I apologize, I'm going to talk a little bit SQL. I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible. But all I'm saying on this window is that the item maintenance window has one store procedure attached to the save button. All right. So let's go and bring the item maintenance window. And I have said that when somebody presses the save button, before GP has the opportunity to save the data in the database, I want to run that little SQL statement. And if it gives me an error, allow it or not to continue. Let me explain. I'm going to go into SQL, and I have here that instruction. So I'm saying if the item generic description is equal to monitors, the error number will be 0, and the error message or will be just a message, monitors. Let me move a little to the first. If the error number is equal to 0, then just show the message and let the process continue. If the error number, which is the variable that I'm setting, is between 1 and 1000, show the error message and do an OK cancel button. That means the user is the one who's going to make a decision if we continue processing or not. If the error number is between 1000 and 1001 and 5000, somebody needs to put an override password. Like you go into McDonald's and somebody needs to give you a 20% discount. Manager comes, enters the password, process continues. And if the error is over 5000, it will not let the process continue at all. So let's see what it's here saying that if the description is monitors, the error will be 0, which means it will let it continue. Let's find out. I'm going to go into the item maintenance window. And it says if it is monitors, it will let it continue. So it's the item generic description. So I'm going to call it monitors. So I save it. Before it could save, it gave me this, just a message, which is what I wrote here. I had the option of OK only. So I press it, and it saves. Now let's bring it again. Now I'm going to say that the generic description is equal to servers. So if it is equal to servers, the error will be 102, which is between the second range, and it will mean that it will give me an OK cancel button option. So I save it. So I have yes to continue, no to cancel. If I say no, no data is saved. Everything stays as it is. If I press save again and I click yes, then the record saves. Now let's change it to laptops, same record. And press save. Now the error message is 3001, which is between the third range, which means I'm going to have an override password. And if I have the password, right, then this override button, it's blue or green, I forgot the color, but you need to put the password. And in this case, I'm just going to press cancel. It didn't allow me to continue. And if it is desktops and I save it, it will just not allow me to continue. You just cannot continue to process. These rules, as simple as you can see them here, just attach them. We have done transactions where it actually triggers some information into the process. Like, for example, let me do something while I talk. I have here in the receiving transactions also a trigger. I'm sorry, a validate. Let's see if it works. So those allow you to do additional validations that we will not necessarily allow you to continue and maintain the integrity of the database by showing by error messages, and allow the user to be proactive and change the data before it gets saved. What could this be? Well, if it is a customer that still has credit, but it hasn't paid in the last 45 days, you can put a warning message. Are you sure you want to continue? Look at this one. I just got, sorry to interrupt this one. I just got a message in MS Teams, and it is telling me, going to DVD. It is telling me that the laptop has arrived in the shipment, and this is the vendor and the invoice and a number and some information. These are this is from before, but I told TGP Validate to, when they press the save button, to write a record, that record was eventually understood by Power Automate or Microsoft Flow. And the Microsoft Flow says, if there's a record and I pass some information, it sends a notification to the user. This, in fact, we actually did it for a customer that they have about 800 purchase orders a month. It's a research company, and all the scientists are ordering stuff all day long. It's very small, from $5 all the way to thousands and thousands of dollars for equipment, and in addition to material. So the material management group, actually the purchasing group, told me they keep calling, had this arrived, has this arrived, and they keep grabbing, taking time from the material management department. And what happens is that now what it's doing is sending a notification to this user, to MS Teams, your stuff has arrived. So now we are using TGP Validate. We are connecting GP to MS Teams. We did not do anything to modify GP. Absolutely nothing. We don't only install the tools from Power Automate in order to be able to accomplish this functionality. For the same customer, we did also an approval process. So when they save it, it goes and communicates to Power Automate, and they say, this invoice has been entered. And the same Power Automate converts this to the approved batch when it is an invoice in the payables transaction entering, and it shows them all the attachments that it was loaded. So the user here has a link to the attachment, so they click it and they are able to see the actual invoice, because Titanium allows you to attach documents. So it creates a link, something with Power Automate, very cool, but it allows them, the manager, to go and review and make an approval. So without customizing your Dynamics GP and making development customizations, you can use the power tools from Microsoft, like in this case, Power Automate and Power Apps, to grab information from GP and eventually presented it in the tools, by this extending the functionality of your GP. And that's why Stacy put in when I explained this to Stacy, that this is like rejuvenating GP. We're bringing more functionality. We're able to make to work easier and able to go and add functionality that before was very complicated to to operate. So the possibilities are endless. This is the demo of TitaniumGP. I hope you like it. I hope you can ask the Express Info team to put it for you to play with it, and I hope it becomes part of your organization. With this one, Casey, I would like to go into